From WP Speedfix. I'm back with another video on content optimization. In this video, I wanted to share this concept called inverted pyramid writing. This is a journalistic technique, or a technique talked to journalists. And in a nutshell, basically, you want to put the best stuff at the top of the page. Quite often in the SEO space, people do the opposite of this, where they put the best stuff at the bottom, which doesn't make sense because you'll get better engagement if the good stuff is at the top of the page, not the other way around. And you would have seen this and experienced this time and time again on pages when you go to the site and you have to read, you're searching for a recipe or searching for best, I've got in the text here, best air fryers. And you get a whole story about how their grandma taught them this recipe, or the grandma likes air fryers, or something like that, which makes no sense because it doesn't answer the user intent. So basically, you want to answer the question that the customer is asking at the top of the content. So you see here, there's the inverted pyramid. There's a diagram of that. You put the best stuff at the top. It's very simple. And these other two mental models we talked about in the last couple of videos, so the early close and the price list problem, are essentially that same idea, but practical applications of it, where in the early close, the customer wants to do whatever they need to do to book or buy, or, the next step in the sales process. So that's what the early close is about. Getting them to do that, telling them how to do that. And the priceless problem is a similar thing where people want to buy products, but they need to understand how to buy from you. So that's what the inverted pyramid, or that's another practical application of the inverted pyramid there. And I'll link you up to those two videos in this video. So in a nutshell, basically, you just want to answer the user intent in the first couple of paragraphs of whatever the page is. And that'll have them stick around. If they want more information, want more detail, they'll keep reading the page, or they'll scroll down the page. They don't want to read a whole bunch of waffle first. They will be less engaged as opposed to more engaged if you force them through a whole bunch of nonsense before they get to whatever, the point of the article. Some practical applications from a content perspective, you'll see particularly on affiliate sites where you're recommending products, have the products at the top of the page. So for example, we have a blog post, NitroPack alternatives. Let's see where it is. Here it is here. And we have the alternatives at the top. So this is our inverted pyramid and early close, essentially, both on this page. So right now, our recommendations are October this year. So I'm making this video in December. So our recommendation here is Flying Press. This is the closest direct replacement for NitroPack. So we tell the visitor in the first line of the page. And then we get into it. So we talk about NitroPack Enterprise and all this sort of stuff. And then we have some more of the recommendations here. But you can see this is exactly my point, where we don't explain to them what NitroPack is as well. That's another common mistake. And the opposite of this principle is, if somebody's searching for NitroPack, they know what NitroPack is. I don't need to explain that, NitroPack is a speed optimization service. They know that. So it's very common on pages about products to kind of treat the customer like an idiot. If they've searched for NitroPack, they know what it is, and you don't need to explain it to them. But anyway, I'll keep that short. So that's the inverted pyramid. So that's one of the many mental models we use for optimizing content, for making content perform better and making it more sticky. Again, it's kind of goes hand in hand with some of these other concepts like the early close, priceless problem, and also the click-through rate optimization, which we talked about in a previous video. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. If you have any questions, post a note in the comments below. If you need help with your site, head over to wpspeedfix.com. We've got a bunch of free stuff. You can get a free site audit if you need help with your SEO or site speed. Fill that out and we'll have a look at your site and come back to you with some recommendations. We also have some free tools, free SEO audit, free Core Web Vitals report, free site speed test. They all take 60 to 90 seconds and no opt-in required. Again, as I said, if you have any questions, post in the comments below. Cheers.